A team of journalists from the western region of Zimbabwe who attended a climate change workshop organized by Environment Africa in Bulawayo were taken on an exposure visit of projects being implemented by Zimpro in Insiza district in Matabeleland South Province. The district lies in Natural Ecological Region 4, which receives a low rainfall and is adversely affected by the changing climate. In Ward 16, the journalists met members of the 10-member Asitutukeni Farmers Club, whose project began in 2012 as a savings and lendings club, with each member contributing 5 South African rands per month. Using funds they borrow from the club, the members have embarked on small income generating projects and they have started buying cattle.
Iclub yethu iyasincedisa ama-members wonke ngoba singachaya izimali siyabhadalela abantwana i-school fees and okunye futhi iyasincedisa lekudleni njoba kade kuyindlala.
The group was also behind the idea of establishing an irrigation scheme, and they each contributed $50 United States towards the project. Next, the journalists were taken to the Amazon A area where they saw a conservation farming project, an ideal farming method for areas that are prone to drought spells. Mrs. Gladys Ngwe, a widow who is looking after 7 orphans, is one of the farmers who started practicing conservation farming in 2009. A comparison of crops in the conservation farming plot to those in the conventional plot clearly shows the advantages of this method of farming. Another advantage is that because of the early planting with the very first rains as required under this farming method, the fall armyworm which affected the plants in the conventional plot did not affect the hair crops in the conservation farming plot. She is also breeding goats that produce manure for her plants in the conservation farming plot.
Lokhu kuphambili kulokudla okunengi kulokudla okunengi kulokulima ngenkabi ngoba lokhu kuyenza ukuthi nxa ngifaki lokhu zeni yami lapha umquba mawuphephuki lamanzi ami kaphephuki.
The journalists then went to village 10 where they saw a rainwater harvesting project. The villagers had been trained on how to construct the water harvesting tanks. The 6,000-liter tank at the Ndlovu homestead can sustain the family and surrounding homesteads for up to 3 months. Those targeted for this project were children under the age of 5, the elderly, and widows. Still in the same village, the journalists were shown a wood-saving stove, which is part of a climate change mitigation strategy. The project has numerous advantages that include reducing cutting down of trees. The open fire concept, which is common in the rural areas of Zimbabwe, utilizes more firewood and causes a smoke pollution, which is a health hazard.
Here, look, the energy is concentrated, it's used, you use less wood, and then we save our forests.
The journalists later visited the 12-hectare Amazon Community Irrigation Project, which is a community initiative where Zimpro came in to assist with the construction of a weir, provision of fencing materials, installation of electricity, provision of material for the construction of canals, a water pumping engine, and the construction of structures for value addition of crops and storage. Because of the low rainfall pattern in this area, rain-fed agriculture is not sustainable.
Irrigation day, saqala ukulima ngo-2015, saqala ngomombo amabhetang 4, sathengisa i-green maize. Mina emabhedi nami ngathola $300. Kwazi ukuthi ngo-2016 saphinda futhi umombo sathengisa emabhedi amangu-6 ngathola $400.
The cross-learning also is very critical where organizations start to share information. For example, ourselves as Zimbabwe Project Trust, we have been working as a consortium with the, for example, Africa Environment. We are beginning to share information. We are beginning to see synergies in terms of our intervention. And also I think it's critical that we are beginning to see the value for money for the donor funds that we secure for the same communities. And in particular, Mati South, which the district that we visited and the Ward 16 that we went to in Insiza, which is Natural Region 4. Communities have tried everything in terms of maize production year in and out, but failing to get a proper harvest.